All right, all right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Citizens of YouTube, it's Pastor Dow. I've got the Tennessean. The Tennessean. That's the newspaper for the state of Tennessee. And I want you to pay attention to something right here. I want you to look at this right here over here in the corner. Let's see if this camera can pick it up. Look what it says. It says gay marriages, gay couples set up on marriage starting line. Now, this is what's amazing. I want to show you Christianity, okay? And I want y'all to understand the attitude of these people, okay? I want you to listen to me real close. I'm going to read this article right here. I want you to see exactly what's going on, okay? All right. And it says, Tony Barrow left and Robert Vaughn, his partner of 4 years, live in Nashville and say that they are prepared to marry the first day Tennessee clerks issue gay marriages license. Now check this out. When you get married into this system, you go to the same county clerk to obtain the same license to do something that you don't need any permission to do in the first place. But yet and still, we all do this simply because everybody else does it. And most of the time, 99% of the time, when you go get a marriage license, you do not understand the terms and conditions to this contract. Most of you assume, okay, I'm getting a license, I'm just doing the things that should be done and stuff. And of course, you are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And government, just the definition of government itself is evil by nature. But what I'm getting to is this. Listen to this. Gay couples set up on marriage starting line. Pastors prepare for quick weddings if ruling is issued. Now, first of all, in my faith, the faith of the Israelites, which is the faith of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Moses, David, Jesus, the Apostle Saul. This, according to the Bible, is a behavior that will send you to the lake. Now, that's why people are rewriting the Bible today, because they don't like the fact that you can't put two men together and procreate. It's just impossible, period. But I want to show you what happens when there's a decline in society. And you need to understand the reason why there's a decline in society, and listen to me very closely. And I'm talking about from all facets and all points of life. Social, political, economic, and religious. You're religious, I'm not religious. Most of you are religious, all right? Be you an atheist, you're still a religious. You're still religious because you believe you make an idol of your opinion. And if you look at history, and if you understand history of the past, it's not hard to understand and see that we're following the same pattern as ancient Rome. And that pattern is this. Whenever there's a moral decay in values, meaning there's no values at all, and everybody is left up inherently to their own personal opinion, basically following the satanic model, do as thy will. Ultimately, you're going to have a decline in society. And the reason for the decline in society is because there is lack of spirituality. You have to understand that. You see, when you refuse to be governed by laws, that's what the Bible is. The Bible is a book of laws, a book of do's and don'ts to the Hebrew people. Now, us Hebrews, us Israelites, we're charged to teach the nations, not other nations teach us. We're charged to teach you, not you teach us. And anyone that's an Israelite, you can go teach the other nations because the other nations don't know any better. But when we have an understanding of the holy laws, statutes, and commandments, we are the ones that's charged to instruct people in the laws of Yahweh that Moses gave us. And anytime the nature of man, without the Holy Spirit, without the Ruah dwelling in them, lives in this earth and they refuse to obey any laws, statutes, and commandments, they're going to revert back, or they're going to play out the old evil Adamic nature without govern, that is going to pretty much have everybody doing what you want. And that's why I keep saying, you know, this gay, lesbian, homosexual agenda, those of us who understand patriarchal rule and biblical law, we don't have to do nothing. All we have to do is just sit back and watch them. They're going to make the way and pave the way for everybody. I wonder what many of you religious people are going to do when all 50 states get on board to this gay marriage stuff, and then all other forms of marriage will be accepted. What are you going to do with your so-called, quote-unquote, convictions then? Since, you know, society believes that it's actually getting better. They believe that they're going from faith to faith and glory to glory. But anytime there's a decline in morality, you're watching the fall of an empire. And you're watching the United States of America fall because, you know, when people remove the scriptures or the Bible or the Ten Commandments or any form of following what the Bible says from public school form, that's the reason why we don't homeschool our children, because we choose not to send our children in those venues to where witches and warlocks and who knows what else is being taught to them. And then you got children of witches and children of warlocks and children of Satanists that are there in those schools, and they will influence your children. And then you have all these immoral children that grow up without any type of morality whatsoever at all. They don't know right from wrong because they watch their mom and dad smoke dope, be drunk as who knows what, cuss, fight, and everything. And that's just normal to them. And when they get around your children in school, if you have any morals whatsoever at all, your children's going to be influenced by them. And if, you know, they're not taught strong Israelite values, then if they're not taught these scriptures, chances are, and they're already up against the gauntlet when you put them out there in that arena in the first place, that they're not going to fare too well. They're really, truly not going to fare too well. That's why I say, women, you listen to me. You are the first line teachers. And you are directly responsible for what you sow into your children. Don't you start sowing into them anytime you get disgruntled and you all crazy and carrying on feelings and emotions and stuff. And I tell you, you know, it is true. You are responsible for your children because the children are going to be attached to their mother. And the way your children come out is going to be a direct reflection on you, whether you like it, understand it, or not. Period. And we as a nation, though small in number, we're mighty. But anyway, I wanted to get to this article here for a second before I close out here. Let me go ahead and read it because I can ramble on all day long. Tennessee same-sex couples and a number of pastors, got to be Christians. Got to be Christians because they're definitely not Israelites. And elected officials are poised to meet up at their local county clerk's office for impromptu weddings. Should a court ruling make those unions legally recognized, known as a court ruling. Now, you have to understand, we as Israelites, you know, the world, they do what they need to do, but we follow the scriptures. And I'm not the type of man that I'm going to go and ask the court, the state, for any permission to do that which is all I already know, which is lawful, by simply being born free. Now, I know I'm in captivity, but I'm a free man. I understand all that. But, you know, can you imagine that we're going to allow the state, we're going to allow this country and its so-called politicians to legislate for us what morality is when they simply can't get it on this? Because, you know, now, don't get me wrong. Men, if you want to go out and lie with man, go ahead, have fun. Do what you want to do. Do that what you, hey, go ahead. You're going to do it anyway. And you are doing it and have been doing it. Men, you want to lie with women, go ahead. Now, there are laws in this world according to the way that people understand and perceive in this life based on the authority of the state. But when it's all said and done, those same laws don't apply on the other side of this life right here. There's a different set of laws. But the Bible gives us the way that we should live now and what we can expect in eternity if we live that way. And I know that many of you are just removing from your conscience any conviction whatsoever at all and calling it condemnation. And that's where you make the mistake and you're in some very serious trouble. If I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. Have y'all ever read the Bible and see what the Most High did to a city and all the providences called Sodom and Gomorrah? I think you ought to go check it out, because me telling you is not going to do you any good. I think you ought to go read Romans, the 1st chapter, to see exactly what the book says about this type of behavior. That's if you are a believer in the Most High. I think you ought to go back, and you need to read the 1611 King James, because all these new modern King James and all these other brand new Bibles coming out with rainbows and everything else on it, you're not going to know what's going on. You're really truly but we need to be governed as a people. Humanity needs to be governed. We need governors on us because of the sinful nature that we possess, and that's just the truth. But look what it says. One Nashville pastor, Greg Bullard, of a non-denominational Covenant of the Cross in Madison, said couples can find him on the Davidson County Clerk's office steps the day of marriage recognition comes to Tennessee. For now, he's offering marriage classes so they can claim their state's $60 discount on their marriage license fee. Dang, how much does it cost? Volunteers dubbed Centos by the advocate group Tennessee Equality Project are charged with watching the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, and if it issues rulings in pending marriage equality classes that favor recognition, dialing clerk's office to see which ones. And then it continues on in 11a, but I'm not going to continue to keep reading it. I don't even want to make videos wasting time on this subject. But if you're an Israelite, you know, you better get your children out of public school. All I'm doing is making suggestions. At the end of the day, I'm just a presenter of information, because that's the way most people take it. But for those of you who know me and know who I am, I'm more than just a presenter of information. I'm a man of Yahweh that tells the truth. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Pass this video around.